Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Let's start with IELTS listening module, and we are going to solve one test which is up to the latest trend of IELTS listening. By the way, there is no latest trend in IELTS listening. Sometimes you appear in exam, they give you old test. Old test, how to identify old test? No more than 3 words. No more than 2 words. No more than 3 words. That means old test. And if it is 1 word only, that is the recent pattern. Recent means 4-5 years old. And no more than 3 words, that is 10 years old pattern. Okay? So sometimes they mix the tests. Like part 1 is going to be 1 word only. Part 4, no more than 3 words. So you should see, that is why whenever you practice from Cambridge IELTS book 1 and then book 17. Book 2, then book 16, book 3, then book 15, so that you can have a fair practice, and if they give you old or new, you are ready for that. Anyways, let's make a start. We have this listening test, and there is listening part 1, and here the title, they've written here, complete the notes below. Now, this sentence will always tell you about the type of questions you are doing. So the type of question is notes completion. Notes are incomplete sentences. In part 1, by the way, we have notes completion, table completion, sentence completion, or any other thing like that. So this one is notes completion. Write 1 word for each answer. And have they mentioned any number? No. So it means there will not be any number. Answers will contain 1 word only. Classroom, how many words? It's 1 word, classroom. Okay, so you should be careful in that case. And when it is 1 word only, even if there are 2 parts of 1 word, write them all together. Classroom, I mean, even if you get confused, classroom, separate or together, if it is 1 word only, always write it together. Okay, easy life cleaning services. Whenever you read this title, you have to switch on your imagination. Easy life is the name. Cleaning services means they clean. Now, what do they clean? They might clean your house. Within the house, they can clean the sofa, they can clean the floor, they can clean the carpet, they can clean your kitchen and all that. So cleaning services means the services where they can clean anything, right? Not you, but any part of your house. So easy life cleaning services. Have you switched on your imagination about cleaning services, vacuum cleaners and mops and this and that and all that? Basic cleaning package offered. Now, they have some packages. Basic cleaning package offered. Cleaning all surfaces. Underline the word surfaces. And whenever they use the word surfaces, it means audio has reached here. So, tracking the audio is very, very important. If you're going with the audio on the question booklet, you are highly likely to find the answer. And if audio is ahead of you, or you are ahead of the audio, in that case you are likely to miss the answers. So how to do it? Very simple. Where there is no question, just underline a word there. Now surfaces, whenever they use the word surfaces, will be clear that now they have reached here. Next, cleaning the dash throughout the apartment. I mean, cleaning the dash means something which is present throughout the apartment. Cleaning the dash throughout. Now underline the word throughout. They can use the word all over, right? Or we want you to clean the carpets all over the apartment. Clean the carpets all over the apartment. What will be the answer? Carpets. Okay, so just focus this word and you'll find the answer.
Part 1. You will hear a man phoning to inquire about a cleaning service for his apartment.
Hello, Easy Life Cleaning Services, Jacinta speaking.
Oh, hello. I'm looking for a cleaning service for my apartment. Do you do domestic cleaning?
Sure.
Well, it's just a 1-bedroom flat. Do you have a basic cleaning package?
Yes, for a 1-bedroom flat, we're probably looking at about 2 hours for a clean. So we do a thorough clean of all surfaces in each room and polish them where necessary. Does your apartment have carpets?
No, I don't have any, but the floor would need cleaning.
Of course, we do that in every room. And we do a thorough clean of the kitchen and bathroom.
Okay.
All right, we'll do that in every room. He said floor. And then he said, we do that in every room, bathroom, this and that. So the answer is floor. I want you to listen to it again, this part.
Part 1.
Bedroom flat. Do you have a basic cleaning package?
Yes, for a one-bedroom flat, we're probably looking at about 2 hours for a clean. So we do a thorough clean of all surfaces in each room and polish them where necessary. Does your apartment have carpets?
No, I don't have any, but the floor would need cleaning.
Okay, I don't have any, but floor would need cleaning. So then,
Of course, we do that in every room. And we do a thorough clean of the kitchen and bathroom.
do that in
Okay.
every room. Do that. That means floor cleaning. You know the words like it, that, this. These words are very important. They always refer to something they have said before, and that thing is related to the answer. So the correct answer is floor. Flour. Thank you. Okay, thank you. That was just a hello testing mic check. Now we go on. Second headline here, additional services agreed. Every week. Now every week they're going to do something. Cleaning every week. Cleaning the dash. Underline the word cleaning. So what is it that they are going to clean every week? Right? It's going to be it's going to be an item which is used at home, or it is going to be the part of a house. For example, cleaning the lawn. Right? Every week, for every week they can use the word weekly, on the weekly basis, or after 7 days we will clean your lawn and all that. Okay? That's right. Now let's listen to it.
Then we have some additional services which you can request if you want. So, for example, we can clean your oven for you every week.
Actually, I hardly ever use that. But can you do the fridge?
Sure. Would you like that done every week?
Yes, definitely.
All right, oven is the right answer. Okay? Why not oven? Because he doesn't have oven. Exactly. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Chale, ab kaam tez ho jayega, okay? So he doesn't have oven, right? That's why correct answer is fridge. How will you spell fridge? Yeah, fridge. Okay. Which is full of meat. Okay, question number 3. Ironing clothes dash only. Look here. Ironing clothes dash only. Dash only means it's one item of clothing. For example, ironing clothes, ties only. Ironing clothes, coats only. Ironing clothes, socks only. Do you iron your socks? No? Very bad. How many of you iron your socks? No one? Alright, to make them hot and all that. Okay, I was just joking. You don't need to iron your socks. But लेकिन धो लिया करें. ठीक है, बाकी खैर है. Yeah. So, let's see. Ironing clothes dash only means one item of clothing. So, I play.
And would ironing clothes be an additional service you can do?
Yes, of course.
It wouldn't be much, just my shirts for work that week.
That's fine.
My shirts for work that week. So answer is, and he said it wouldn't be much. My shirts. So answer is shirts, and only is already written. Do you understand? Now listen. 2 languages are going on simultaneously. One is the language of this booklet that you are holding, and one is the language of audio. And these 2 languages are somewhat different, but they are same. You understand? Different in wording, but same in meaning. Wording is different, meaning is same. So this is what you need to learn, that how 2 languages which are different in wording and phrases but same in meaning, so how these languages work. Let's go on. Question number 4. Every month, now there is something which will be done on monthly basis. Every month, cleaning all the dash from the inside. Now they are going to clean something from the inside. From the inside means that thing can be cleaned from the outside also, but they want them to clean them from the inside. Okay, I play this audio.
And we could also clean your microwave if you want.
No, I wipe that out pretty regularly, so there's no need for that.
We also offer additional services that you might want a bit less often, say every month. So, for example, if the inside of your windows need cleaning, we could do that.
Yes, that'd be good. I'm on the 15th floor, so the outside gets done regularly by specialists, but the inside does get a bit grubby.
All right. So, yeah, windows. Put them closer. Yeah, how will I catch them? Thank you. Answer is windows from the inside. He's on the 15th floor. So outside is not possible. He wants the windows to be cleaned from the inside. So the answer is? Okay, now tell me, if you write window, singular answer, will that be right or wrong? Why? Because all the dash. All means plural. Exactly. You guys can do one thing. Okay, let's just go on. I go on to question number 5. Washing down the dash. Simple. Washing down the dash. Okay, washing something. Washing down something. All right? Wash down.
And we could arrange for your curtains to get cleaned if necessary.
No, they're okay. But would you be able to do something about the balcony? It's quite small and I don't use it much, but it could do with a wash every month or so.
Yes, we can get the pressure washer onto that.
All right, we can get to pressure wash onto that. That goes back to balcony. That's right. So learn these words, that, and that goes back to balcony. Washing down. For washing down, they use the word pressure wash. You know what pressure wash is when you get your car serviced. So answer is, and how do you spell? B-A-L-K-O. Yeah, balcony. Okay, that's right. Balcony. So far so good. You know, if you start well, IELTS listening part 1 will prepare you for IELTS listening part 2. And IELTS listening part 2 will prepare you for 3, and 3 will prepare you for part 4. Okay, so you need to, make sure in part 1 you get 10 by 10. Other possibilities. They can organize a plumber. They means that company. So for the company, they're using the word they. They can organize a plumber or an dash. Very simple. Plumber or an dash. Now listen, it's going to be another profession. And they have written an. An means answer will start with the vowel. Plumber or an. And for example, if they say, we can organize a plumber, I'm afraid to say we don't have any carpenter available with us, but we can also provide you a cook. Answer will be cook. Why not carpenter? Because they don't have carpenter, right? So just listen. It's not that whatever they say after plumber, that is your answer. You got to listen carefully and decide. Question number 6.
Now, if you're interested, we do offer some other possibilities to do with general maintenance. For example, if you have a problem with water and you need a plumber in a hurry, we can put you in touch with a reliable one who can come out straight away. And the same thing if you need an electrician.
Right, that's good to know. I've only just moved here, so I don't...
And the same thing if you need an electrician. Now, the challenge is the correct spelling of electrician. E-L-E-C-T-R-I-C-I-A-N. Absolutely. Yeah, otherwise, usually in part 1, they don't give such difficult words. Electrician. Right? Sometimes people write shun, S-H-U-N, shun, or like dictation, T-I-O-N. Okay? Yeah, C-I-A-N, electrician. Anyways, question number 7. A special cleaning service is available for customers who are allergic to. Now tell me, this is what we call collocation. Absolutely. People are usually allergic to, that is the answer. See that? People are usually allergic to dust, right? Allergic to something. So, this is what we call collocation. Sometimes the collocations can help you find the answer even without listening to, but you must listen to the audio. Anyways, let's see. Allergic to. Now, just see people are allergic to. Some people are allergic to animals also. Yeah, some people are allergic to cats. They are allergic to dogs and all that. Let's see. Question number 7.
And I don't know if this is of interest to you, but we also offer a special vacuum cleaning system which can improve the indoor air quality of your home by capturing up to 99% of all the dust in the air. So if you're troubled by allergies, this can make a big difference.
Right, in fact, I don't have that sort of problem, but I'll bear it in mind.
Dust, right? She said 99.9% and all that. And they did not choose the word dust allergy directly. Have you noticed one thing? They use the word dust and say if you have that kind of problem. Please listen to it again.
And I don't know if this is of interest to you, But we also offer a special vacuum cleaning system which can improve the indoor air quality of your home by capturing up to 99% of all the dust in the air. So if you're troubled by allergies, this can make a big difference.
If you are troubled by allergies and all that, so that is dust. Let's go on. Information on the cleaners. Now cleaners are the workers who will come to clean your house. Okay, information on the cleaners. Before being hired home, the cleaners, before being hired, all cleaners have a background check carried out by the, now listen, who carries out the background check of cleaners? It can be some company, it can be some organization, someone carries out that background check. Background, you know what is background check? What is your name? Where are you from? Where do you live? Where is your ID card? Do you have any criminal history or anything like that? So we call it background check. Okay, now just listen, who is going to conduct that background check, that investigation? Who is going to conduct that?
Now, can you tell me a bit about your cleaning staff?
Of course. So all our cleaners are very carefully selected. When they apply to us, they have to undergo a security check with the police to make sure they don't have any sort of criminal background.
Security check with police. Now listen, the word with and by, they are same here. Security check with the police and background check carried out by the police. Understand, background check is replaced with security check. Background check and security check, I told you two languages are going on simultaneously. Okay, security check and background check carried out by, answer is police. Okay, pulse, Punjabi, yeah, Punjab pulse. Okay, yeah. Next, question number 9. All cleaners are given dash for 2 weeks. Tell me the answer. Training. Okay, maybe, why not? All cleaners are given salary for 2 weeks. All cleaners are given. Now, whatever they give for 2 weeks. Now, for 2 weeks, they might use the word 14 days. Right? Or they can use the word fortnight. Fortnight also means 2 weeks. So, whatever is given for 2 weeks, that will be your answer.
And of course, they have to provide references as well. Then if we think they might be suitable for the job, we give them training for it. That lasts for 2 weeks, so it's very thorough.
We give them training. And have you noticed one thing? That lasts for 2 weeks. That means training. So unless you understand this link, you will not be able to find the answer. We give them training that lasts for 2 weeks. That last means training lasts for 2 weeks, and lasts for 2 weeks means for 2 weeks. Okay, all clear? Okay, very good. Question number 10. Customers send a dash after each visit. Feedback. Yeah, feedback. Customers send a dash after each visit. Let's see. Now, what is the word that they use? See that if you only guess what kind of answer is going to come, you can easily find what is the answer. Now, over here, question 10. Customers send a dash after each visit. We understand customers send feedback. Right? Now, not feedback. They might use any other word for feedback. There would be a similar word for feedback, and that is going to be your answer. Okay, let's see.
But we monitor them very carefully. We ask all our clients to complete a review of their performance after every visit and to email it to us.
Review. Okay, after every visit and email it to us. I play this one again.
But we monitor them very carefully. We ask all our clients to complete a review of their performance
to complete a review of their performance after
every visit.
After every visit. So answer is review. Okay. Singular or plural? Why singular? A is given. So you should be careful about these things. If A was not there, then you could write singular or plural. But A is there, that is why you should be careful. Choice. अभी देखिएगा जब हम when we reach part 3, there'll be pin drop silence in the room. Because, you know, your language ability part 1 is very good. Zindagi ek safar hai suhana. IELTS is no problem. Answer is dust. Okay? Answer is fridge. Answer is shirt. Okay, no problem. IELTS easy, okay? But when you reach part 2, then you reach part 3, then you say, Mar dala. Okay, I cannot do anything. So don't worry, gradually you'll be fine. Now we have multiple choice questions in IELTS, right? Aggo hat ja kaka. Alright. So in multiple choice questions, they check your ability to identify right information from some confusing information, right? For example, first I wanted to go to Islamabad, but because of certain issues, I changed my plan. And then I decided to go to Karachi, but unfortunately, no flight was available there. I ended up in Quetta. Where did I go? See that? This is multiple choice, right? I wanted to do that. I wanted to drink coffee, but because coffee was not available at home, then I changed my mind and I wanted to go for tea. And to my bad luck, there was no tea bag available. Then I drank water. What did I drink? See that? But they talked about coffee, they talked about tea, and they talked about water. This is multiple choice. They will talk about all the things, and you have to listen carefully. And that is why elimination is the best way. What is elimination? Cross the wrong choices. I'll tell you how to deal with that. Okay, question number 11. Many hotel managers are unaware that their staff often leave because of. Now, one reason why hotel staff leaves and managers are. Now, listen carefully. They will talk about 2 options where managers are aware. For that, they use the word managers know. Managers know already, right? But one option, they will say managers don't know. They are not even aware. They don't have any idea. So what they say, managers don't know, that will be your answer. Is this clear? Okay, now what are the options? Lack of training. B, long hours. And by the way, for lack of training, they will use any other paraphrasing. They will not use the word exact lack of training. They will use the word because sometimes they are not provided the basic training which is required for the field. That is why, and the managers don't have any idea about that. Second, long hours. Sometimes they have to do overtime. Sometimes restaurant job can last for 16 to 18 hours. That is why people leave the job and managers don't have any idea about it. Third is low pay. Salary is limited. Salary is low. Anything like that. So they will use the synonyms. Okay. All 3 options may be discussed. Sometimes they omit one option. They only discuss 2 options. Another problem in multiple choice questions that we have, these options will not be discussed in order. If they only discussed the options in order, we would find multiple choice questions very easy. But now what do? They may start from C. Then they come to A. Then they come to B. And any of these options can be the right one. So the first thing is you need to catch the option which is being discussed. Then you need to decide if that option is the right one, tick. If that is the wrong one, cross. If you are confused, question mark. Tick, cross, question mark. Okay, let's do question number 11.
As many of you here today have worked in the hotel industry for some time, I'm sure you have experienced the problem of high staff turnover in your hotels. Every hotel relies on having loyal and experienced members of staff who make sure that everything runs smoothly. If staff are constantly changing, it can make life difficult for everyone. But why do staff leave frequently in many hotels? Of course, many hotel jobs, such as cleaning, are low-skilled and are not well paid. A lot of managers think it's this and the long hours that are the main causes of high staff turnover. But what they don't realize is that it's the lack of training in many hotel jobs which is a huge factor.
What they don't realize. Now what they don't realize means they are unaware. Once you learn this language, you will get 9 and then you'll be standing there giving tips and techniques. 9 बैंड मेरा ऐसे आया, मैंने ये किया, मैंने वो किया. हाँ, मैं हमेशा IELTS का टेस्ट करने से पहले मरूंडा खाता होता था, बिस्किट्स खाता होता था, something like that. Okay, so they talked about low pay, long hours and all that, but what they don't realize means what they are unaware, and that is lack of training. So A is the right answer. And have you noticed one thing? They went backward. the audio went like CBA. CBA. And this code is different. Right? In every question, this code is different. Once I told this code and student said, yes. क्या हुआ? कहता सर आपने कोड बता दिया. I'll apply it everywhere. Not everywhere. Sometimes it's ABC. Sometimes it's ACB. Sometimes it's BAC. So we never know about it. Okay. Let's go on. Question number 12. What is the impact of high staff turnover on managers? Underline impact. High staff turnover on managers. You know what is what is staff turnover? When people leave their job. Okay, so what is the impact of high staff turnover on managers? Option A, increased workload. Yeah, understood. When staff leave, for example, if there is one person, cook leaves, then manager has to arrange another one. If the waiter leaves, then manager has to work like a waiter and all that. Okay. Next, low morale. You know what is low morale? Yeah, आपने job छोड़ दी, but मैंने भी अगले महीने छोड़ देनी. Okay, I'm also leaving the job. You have low morale that people are leaving this organization. There is something wrong. And option C, inability to meet targets. Inability to meet targets means they are unable to meet targets. Remember one thing, whenever you read multiple choice options, don't read ABC. Don't read and, the, some. Never read these words because they don't make any sense. Make your mind like lack of training. I'm reading question number 12. Increased workload, low morale, inability to meet targets. That's it. Very, very quickly. Otherwise, option A, an increased workload. Option B, don't read like that. Okay, and quickly you got to read. Now, let's see. Again, the question is, what is the impact of high staff turnover on managers? What is it that managers have to do? Okay.
So, what kind of problems does a high turnover of staff cause? Well, having to recruit new staff all the time can be very time-consuming, and managers may have to cover some duties while waiting for new staff to arrive. This means they don't have time to think about less immediate problems, such as how to improve their service. When staff leave, it can also severely affect the colleagues they leave behind. It has a negative effect on remaining staff, who may start to feel that they too should be thinking about leaving.
A. And by the way, they didn't discuss C clearly. Increased workload. And what is the word for that?
So, what
Focus.
kind of problems does a high turnover of staff cause? Well, having to recruit new staff all the time can be very time-consuming, and managers may have to cover some duties while waiting for new staff.
Managers may have to cover some duties while waiting for new staff. Increased workload. Increased workload means managers have to do the duties and all that. A is the right answer, and they went like option A, B, and C was not discussed clearly. Question number 13. By the way, in actual exam, they will not play the audio one by one. You cannot say, please, madam, slow audio. Okay? Or madam, repeat the audio. They will not do that. I'm doing it because I'm teaching you. I'm explaining and all that. In actual exam, they will play the audio like we play on your mock test. Okay? Question number 13. What mistake should managers always avoid? Now, mistakes managers avoid. Underline. Mistake managers avoid. So what mistakes do they avoid? Failing to treat staff equally. Treat staff equally. Treat staff equally. Reorganizing shifts without warning. Reorganizing shifts. And neglecting to have enough staff during busy periods. Neglecting enough staff during busy period. Busy period when the restaurant is busy, hotel is busy and all that. So what mistakes should managers avoid? One mistake managers should not commit, should not do. Option A, failing to treat staff equally, means they fail to treat the staff. Option B, reorganizing shifts. Shifts mean morning shift, evening shift and night shift. And neglecting to have enough staff during busy periods means, for example, when it is very busy, only 10 staff members where they need 15 people to work. So what mistake managers avoid? Let's see.
So what can be done to change this situation? Firstly, managers should stop making basic errors which leave their staff feeling upset and resentful. When organizing shifts, for example, make sure you never give certain staff preferential treatment. All staff should be given some choice about when they work, and everyone should have to work some evening and weekend shifts. If you treat staff fairly, they'll be more likely to step in and help when extra staff are needed.
Okay, what managers should always avoid? Option B is reorganizing shifts without warning, but he said you should tell them, right? So the correct answer is option A, failing to treat staff equally. I play it again.
So what can be done to change this situation? Firstly, managers should stop making basic errors which leave their staff feeling upset and resentful. When organizing shifts, for example,
When organizing shifts, for example. Now, focus the word without warning.
make sure you never give certain staff preferential treatment. All staff should be given some choice about when they work,
All staff should be given choice. So it's not without warning. They should be given choice when they work.
and everyone should have to work some evening and weekend shifts.
Right? So everyone has to work some evening or weekend shifts. So failing to treat staff equally means actually they should avoid it. And what is the opposite of failing to treat staff equally? Like you say, okay, you are my friend's brother, so you can do morning shift, you are comfortable with that. You are my enemy, you do midnight shift. Something like that. So correct answer here goes A. Let's go on. Question number 14. What unexpected benefit did Dunwich Hotel notice? Now please underline unexpected benefit. Unexpected benefit means something they were not expecting. Dunwich Hotel notice after improving staff retention rate. Now what is staff retention rate? That staff, they stay in the hotel. For example, if you are the hotel staff and I say, how long have you been working in this hotel? You say 20 years, 25 years, 5 years, 10 years. That is what we call staff retention. And what is the opposite? They come and they go. After 1 month's salary, they leave the place. Okay. So what unexpected benefit did hotel notice after improving staff retention? Fall in customer complaints. Fall in customer complaints means there were fewer complaints by the customer. B, increase in loyalty club membership. They have loyalty club membership and the membership increased. And C, rise in spending per customer. Like first, if the bill of one customer was 1,000, then it became 2,000. Rise in spending per customer. So unexpected benefit, listen. Now they will say, as we were expecting rise in spending per customer, this happened. Is that the answer? No. Answer is something unexpected. So you will listen and wait for something which they were not expecting and that happened. Let's see.
Keeping staff happy has other tangible benefits for the business. Take the Dunwich Hotel as an example. It had been experiencing a problem with staff complaints and in order to deal with this, invested in staff training and improved staff conditions. Not only did the level of complaints fall, but they also noticed a significant increase in the amount each customer spent during their stay. They have now introduced a customer loyalty scheme, which is going really well.
So, see, they have now introduced a customer loyalty scheme which is going well. B is not the answer. Right? Fall in customer complaints. Listen, unexpected benefit. I play this one again. Please listen.
Keeping staff happy has other tangible benefits for the business. Take the Dunwich Hotel as an example. It had been experiencing a problem with staff complaints, and in order to deal with this,
they were experiencing staff complaints, and in order to deal with this means this is what they were expecting. They did it because they were expecting that.
Invested in staff training and improved staff conditions. Not only did the level of complaints fall,
but they
also noticed a significant increase in the amount each customer spent during...
Okay, significant increase in the amount. So what they were expecting, customer complaints. What they were not expecting, spending per customer.
their stay. They have now introduced a customer
Now,
loyalty
customer loyalty
scheme,
scheme.
which is going really well.
Okay, these concepts, these ideas will take a little time and practice. When you're going to do them all alone, you will find them better. So don't worry at all. Okay, thank you. एक दफ़ा डाकिया ख़त लेके आया तो सब लोगों ने कहा यार वो एक बंदा है उसको ख़त पढ़ना आता है, तो उसको बुलाया, कहता मुझे वही ख़त पढ़ना आता है जो मेरे घर में पड़ा हुआ है, मुझे और उसके अलावा ख़त पढ़ना नहीं आता. चलें स्टार्ट करें. तो मैंने घूर के ना देखा कर, कैमरे के पीछे से स्माइल दे के देखा करें. अच्छा जी, क्वेश्चंस 15 to 20 we call it multiple choice questions. Remember, for IELTS listening part 2, 4 M's are important. M for mother. 4 M's are important. Number 1, multiple choice questions. Number 2, matching. Number 3, maps. Number 4, double multiple choice. Okay, so in part 2, they have only these 4 questions. And if you are lucky, then you will get one word only as well in part 2. In some Cambridge tests, we do have one word only in part 1 as well. Okay, now let's start. Can you see questions 15 to 20? First, you read the question statement. Which way of reducing staff turnover? Underline, way of reducing staff turnover was used in each of the following hotels. So questions 15 to 20, these are the names of hotels. Option A, B, C, these are the methods of reducing staff turnover. Reducing staff turnover means staff should stay in the hotel. They should do their job for 5 years, 10 years and all that. Now, by the way, if you read the name of the hotel, do you get any information? No, you read the Sun Club, the Portland, Blue Water Hotels. You don't get any information. In this case, I advise you not to read the questions, because in the audio, they will talk about these hotels very, very clearly and one by one. So when they give you time to read the questions, you have to read the options. Ways of reducing staff turnover. Please come to option A. Improving relationships and teamwork. Underline improving relationships and teamwork. For teamwork, they can use any word. Working with team, working in a group, working with other people. And for relationship, relationship building, good relations with others and all that. Option B, offering incentives. Now, what is incentive? They increase the salary, they offer some money, they offer some gift, they offer them a tour. Like, you know, some medicine companies, they give incentives to doctors. Doctor of America cha rahe hain. All expense paid tour by the company. They give ACs and laptops as well, right? So, offering incentives and financial benefits. For financial benefits, they might use the word money, right? For incentives, they might use the word tours and this and that. Option C, providing career opportunities. What is career opportunity? They give them, what do you use the word? Promotions, absolutely, promotions. Or they give them opportunity to work in another hotel or something like that. Now, just remember, option A is relationships and team. So if they talk about any hotel in context or in relation to this relationship and team building, A will be the answer. If they talk about incentive, incentive means benefits and financial benefits, then B is the answer. And if they talk about career opportunities, better job, they can be promoted to manager post or this and that, then C will be the answer. All clear? Okay, now when you read these 3 options carefully, this hand is going to follow the audio. For example, if they say, first of all, the Sun Club, you will put this finger on the Sun Club and this hand will move between the options, A, B, C. So,
More than one letter can...
yes, exactly. You can write A, B, B, C, A, C, then there is only one problem. Your answer will be wrong. Okay?
If many benefits will discuss...
Yes, most definitely. But in the audio, they will not discuss those benefits. You will understand those benefits on your own. Correct answer is only one. A, B or C. Now, if you think B and C both are right, then you are wrong. Okay, very, very simple. Let's start with the Sun Club.
Now, I'd like to look at some ways you can reduce staff turnover in your hotels. And I'll do this by giving some examples of hotels where I've done some training recently. The Sun Club received feedback which showed that staff thought managers didn't value their opinions. They weren't made to feel they were partners who were contributing to the success of the business as a whole. This situation has changed. Junior staff at all levels are regularly invited to meetings where their ideas are welcomed.
A. Junior staff are invited to meeting where their ideas are welcomed. And there is one more thing they used. I'll play it again.
Now, I'd like to look at some ways you can reduce staff turnover in your hotels. And I'll do this by giving some examples of hotels where I've done some training recently. The Sun Club received feedback which showed that staff thought managers didn't value their opinions. They weren't made to feel they were partners who were...
They weren't made feel that they were partners. So they were partners means they worked in team, right? So A is the correct answer for question number 15. Now A can be used second time also. Keep that in mind. There are only 3 options and 6 questions. So one option can be used 2 times, 3 times and all that. Question number 16, Portland.
A year ago, the Portland recognized the need to invest in staff retention. Their first step was to introduce a scheme for recognizing talent amongst their employees. The hope is that organizing training for individuals with management potential will encourage them to stay with the business.
C, providing career opportunities. And what is the word
A year ago, the Portland recognized the need to invest in staff retention. Their first step was to introduce a scheme for recognizing talent amongst their employees.
Recognizing talent among their employees, okay?
The hope is that organizing training for individuals with management potential will encourage them to stay with the...
Okay, providing training with management potential will encourage them to stay in the hotel. So that is providing career opportunities. See that how these 2 languages are different. So through practice you will find this thing. Question number 17, Blue Water Hotels.
At Blue Water, managers decided to recognize 50 high achievers from across the company's huge hotel chain. As a reward, they're sent on an all-expenses-paid trip abroad every year. Fun is an important element in the trips, but there's also the opportunity to learn something useful. This year's trip included a visit to a brewery, where staff learned about the new beer that would be served in the hotel.
All right, offering incentives and financial benefits, okay? And that incentive is all expense paid tour. All expense paid tour means you just go and enjoy. You don't have to pay anything. B is the right answer. 18, Pentlow Hotels.
Pentlow Hotels identified that retention of junior reception staff was an issue. In order to encourage them to see that working in a hotel could be worthwhile and rewarding with good prospects, they introduced a management program. These staff were given additional responsibilities and a chance to work in various roles in the hotel.
A is improving relationship. They were given opportunity in different positions. Those different positions are providing career opportunities. Like a receptionist is working like a manager, like a waiter and all that. Listen to it again, please.
Pentlow Hotels identified that retention of junior reception staff was an issue. In order to encourage them to see that working in a hotel could be worthwhile and rewarding with good prospects, they introduced a management program.
Management program. From there you understand something.
These staff were given additional responsibility.
These staff were given additional responsibility
And a chance to work in various roles in the hotel.
and a chance to work in various roles. That is career opportunities. Okay, let's go on. Green Planet.
Green Planet wanted to be seen as a caring employer. To make life easier for staff, many of whom had childcare responsibilities, the hotel began issuing vouchers to help cover the cost of childcare.
Issuing the vouchers to help cover the cost of child care. Those vouchers are offering incentives and financial benefits. If they give you a voucher of 10,000 rupees and you can do shopping for your baby, the small baby, not the big one, okay? So this is something like that they are talking about. I play this one again. Yeah, that baby becomes baby.
Green Planet wanted to be seen as a caring employer. To make life easier for staff, many of whom had childcare responsibilities, the hotel began issuing vouchers to help cover the cost of childcare.
Okay, to help cover the cost of childcare. So those vouchers are financial benefits. They use the word cost of childcare. Okay, question number 20. Amesbury. Let's see.
Louise Marsh at the Amesbury has one of the best staff retention rates in the business. Since she joined the company, she's made a huge effort to achieve this by creating a cooperative and supportive environment. For her, the staff are part of a large family where everyone is valued.
Family, everyone is valued, cooperative and all that. It is teamwork. Now you understand? So IELTS listening goes like this. Okay guys, now we have double multiple choice question. Okay, English is very difficult. Biscuit. Okay, Punjabi style. So we've got double multiple choice in part 3. Now for part 3 IELTS listening, you should remember 3 M's. The first most important M that covers around 60 to 70% of part 3 is multiple choice questions. And usually they are single multiple choice questions where ABC and you select one. Right? Second M is matching. And the third M is double multiple choice questions. So here we've got that third M, double multiple choice questions. Questions 21 to 22. Choose 2 letters A to E. Now you will choose 2 letters, 2 questions. And by the way, out of 2, if one answer is correct, one incorrect, you will get 1 mark. Number 1. Number 2, you can write your answer in any order. For example, answer is A, B. So you can write 21A, 22B or 21B, 22A. It is correct. No problem at all, right? Which 2 points do Thomas and Jane make about Thomas' sporting activities? Now underline 2 points and about Thomas' sporting activities at school. Now listen, again, they are going to check your ability, whether you find the right information or not. There are 5 points. Out of those 5 points, they will discuss 3 points negatively or oppositely. Or it is also possible that they don't discuss 1 point. But 2 points will be discussed as they have been mentioned here. And those 2 points are your answers. Now, what are the points about sporting activities at school? Just switch on your imagination. What are the sporting activities at school? Cricket match, football match, or badminton, basketball, and other things like that. So, 2 points Thomas and Jane make about Thomas' sporting activities at school. Okay, option A. Should have felt more positive about them. Just underline felt more positive about them. Right? If she says you felt negatively, you should have felt more, you should be positive, or you should have been positive about them, then it is A. Training was too challenging for him. Now listen, if he says that training was quite easy for me, or I didn't find the training hard at all, will B be the answer? No, because it's the opposite. Right? And if he felt, for example, option A, should have felt more positive about him. If he already felt positive, then A will not be the answer. If he felt negative and she suggests you should have been more positive, then A can be the answer. C, could have worked harder at them. Could have worked harder. If he already worked harder, then this is not the answer. If he didn't work hard and now she is suggesting that you should have worked harder, then it is C. And by the way, in option A, what do they mean by them? Option A, last word, them. What is them? Sporting activities. Again referencing. Sporting activities. Could have worked harder at them. Could have worked harder at sporting activities. His parents were disappointed in him. Now if he says, my parents were proud of me, so this will not be the answer. And if he says, my parents were disappointed, then it can be. So parents were disappointed. Underline, parents were disappointed. Fellow students admired him. If he says, my fellow students always felt jealous of me, will that be the answer? And if he says, my fellow students always appreciated me, then this will be the answer. Got it? Now, there are 5 statements. 3 statements will be discussed negatively, oppositely, in a false manner. You have to separate those 3 statements from the 5 statements. Okay? So if you separate them, cross them, and what you're left with will be the right answer. And by the way, A, B, C, D, E, these options will be discussed in any order. They can start from E, then A, then C, then B, and then D. So it's any order.
You will hear 2 students called Jean and Thomas discussing their sports science course.
Hi, Thomas. How are you enjoying the course so far?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Remind me, why did you decide to study sports science? Didn't you want to be a professional athlete when you were at school?
Yeah, that was my goal, and all my classmates assumed I would achieve it. They thought I was brilliant.
That must have been a nice feeling.
I thought I could win anything. There was no one who could run faster than me.
Exactly. So what happened? Did your mum and dad want you to be more academic?
Not at all. Perhaps they should have pushed me harder, though.
What do you mean?
I think I should have practiced more.
Yeah. Okay, A and C and D. Correct. C is, he could have worked harder at them. And that's what he said in the end. I'll play it again, don't worry. I'll make sure everyone gets the right thing. And the first correct answer is, his fellow students admired him. Now, let's listen to it again.
You will hear 2 students called Jean and Thomas discussing their sports science course.
Hi, Thomas. How are you enjoying the course so far?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Remind me, why did you decide to study sports science? Didn't you want to be a professional athlete when you were at school?
Yeah, that was my goal, and all my classmates assumed I would achieve it.
And my all class students assumed I would achieve it. When they assumed I would achieve it means his fellow students admired him. So the first correct answer is E. Now let's go on.
Thought I was brilliant.
That must have been a nice feeling.
I thought I could win anything. There was no one who could run faster than me.
Now this is positive. He felt more positive. Already he was positive. When he said no one could run faster than me. So he was already positive about it.
Exactly. So what happened? Did your mum and dad want you to be more
That is option D. Did your mom and dad wanted you to more study and all that?
academic?
Not at all.
Not at all. So his parents were disappointed in him? Not at all. Got it? This is not the right answer. Now let's go on to option C.
Perhaps they should have pushed me harder, though.
What do you mean?
I think I should have practiced more.
I think I should have practiced more. Which option? Option C. He could have worked harder at them. I think I should have practiced more. Practiced more means work harder. Got it? Yeah, exactly. Okay, but audio really went fast. Okay, let's listen to it again.
You will hear 2 students
This
called
Baba is
Jean
okay.
and
This Baba is very old. You will listen to him in Cambridge IELTS books 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So this Baba is very, very old. But after this Baba, there are those babies and the boys. Okay, they are very fast. See?
You will hear 2 students called Jean and Thomas discussing their sports science course.
Hi, Thomas. How are you enjoying the course so far?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Remind me, why did you decide to study sports science? Didn't you want to be a professional athlete when you were at school?
Yeah, that was my goal, and all my classmates assumed I would achieve it. They thought I was brilliant.
That must have been a nice feeling.
I thought I could win anything. There was no one who could run faster than me.
Exactly. So what happened? Did your mum and dad want you to be more academic?
Not at all. Perhaps they should have pushed me harder, though.
What do you mean?
I think I should have practiced more.
Okay, I think I should have practiced more. Now, questions 23 and 24. Choose two letters. Which two feelings, underline two feelings, did Thomas experience, underline Thomas experience when he was in Kenya? Now, he went to Kenya and there he came across two emotions. Those two emotions which he came across in Kenya will be your answer. Now, for example, A is disbelief. If he says before going to Kenya, I had this disbelief. Now that is, before going to Kenya. And if he says after coming back from Kenya, I felt relieved and all that. So you need to see actually when he was in Kenya. Right? Kenya is in Africa. I've got very good number of students in Kenya. So option A, disbelief. What is disbelief? See, if he says, I couldn't believe myself. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe that it was really happening. Something like that. B, relief. I took a sigh of relief. It was quite relieving for me. I took some relief. Means, once you receive your desired band, you say, okay, you are relaxed and relieved. C, stress. For stress, they can use the word anxiety or anything like that. Gratitude. Gratitude means thankfulness. Say, thank God. Gratitude is, thank God. Gratitude is when you get 40% marks and you are happy. And the other one is 80% mark and you are crying. Why not 95%? Next, homesickness. Homesickness means missing your home. Homesickness means missing your family. Right? The other day there was an intelligent student sitting here and we had a word like homesickness and the other one asked him इसका क्या मतलब होता है? कहता है जब आपको घर में उल्टियां लग जाएं तो उसको कहते हैं homesickness. Okay? So it's not that. Be careful. Homesickness means when you miss your family, inshallah, all of you will feel homesickness. बोलो आमीन. बाहर जाओगे तो homesickness होएगी, अच्छे रह के तो होएगी नहीं. ठीक है? So बोलो आमीन. सुमा आमीन. मैं चाहता हूँ मुझे homesickness हो. फिर मैं फोन करूं, फिर मैं मेरा किचन है, मैं आटा गुन रहे हैं. That's what they do. आज की पकाया खिचड़ी, something like that. Anyways, so let's see two feelings Thomas experienced when he was in Kenya. Right. If you're from Kenya, please comment.
What makes you say that?
Well, I went out to Kenya for a couple of weeks to train.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I was chosen to go there out of loads of kids and run with some of the top teenage athletes in the world. And I was so calm about it. I just kept thinking how fortunate I was. What a great chance this was. Everyone back home was so proud of me. But once we started competing, I very quickly realised I wasn't good enough.
That must have been a huge shock.
I thought, this can't be happening. I was used to winning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I'm over it now, and I think it's much better to do a university course. And this one has such a variety of sports-related areas. It's going to be good.
Oh, I agree. I chose it because of that.
A and D. All right. A and D. Okay. Someone said C. All right. The correct answer is A. Disbelief, and the second correct answer is D, that is gratitude. Please now listen.
What makes you say that?
Well, I went out to Kenya for a couple of weeks to train.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I was chosen to go there out of loads of kids and run with some of the top teenage athletes in the world. And I was so calm about it. I just kept thinking how fortunate I was.
I was calm about it. I kept thinking how fortunate I was. How fortunate means gratitude. कि मैं कितना खुशकिस्मत हूँ. So that is what we call gratitude. Question number D, option D. Okay, how fortunate I was. Gratitude, how fortunate I was. Like you say, how fortunate I am. Okay.
What a great chance this was. Everyone back home was so proud of me.
Everyone back home was so proud of me. That is not homesickness. Right? Everyone back home was so proud of me. So this is not sickness.
But once we started competing, I very quickly realised I wasn't good enough.
I very quickly realized I wasn't good enough.
Competing, I very quickly realised I wasn't good enough.
That must have been a huge shock.
I thought, this can't be happening.
This can't be happening. Disbelief. You know, when you say, how high disbelief, this can't be happening. ये मेरे साथ नहीं हो सकता. Something like that. So this can't be happening is disbelief.
Used to winning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I'm over it now. And I think it's
I'm all right now. Now, all right, relief now. Because now he's not in Kenya. Yeah, but he didn't choose any direct word. Because he is relating to his disbelief mainly. I play it back.
You will hear two students called Jean and Thomas discussing their...
What makes you say that?
Yeah.
Well, I went out to Kenya for a couple of weeks to train.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I was chosen to go there out of loads of kids and run with some of the top teenage athletes in the world. And I was so calm about it. I just kept thinking how fortunate I was.
Okay.
What a great chance this was. Everyone back home was so proud of me. But once we started competing, I very quickly realised I wasn't good enough.
That must have been a huge shock.
I thought, this can't be happening.
This can't be happening. So it does not lead to stress because they didn't use the word anxiety or any other word like that. So this can't be happening is his disbelief.
I was used to winning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that, okay? Alright, so correct answer is A for apple, D for doctor. Okay guys, IELTS listening part 3, matching. Once again, we have matching, right? So, this time you can see options are long and lengthy and all that. Now, tell me one thing. Let's read the question first. Questions 25 to 30. What comment do the students make about the development of each of the following items of sporting equipment? So, please underline what comment students make development of each of the following item of sporting equipment. For example, how cricket bat was made, how racket was made, how table tennis racket was made. So they are going to talk about items of sporting equipment. What are the items of sporting equipment? Bat, ball, racket, baseball bat, and helmet, exactly. So these are just, and they've given the names of them, right? Now, 25 to 30, these are the items of sporting equipment. Found them? Okay, and A to H comments about the development of equipment. Now, will you read the questions or comments? Obviously comments, because questions are 25 table tennis bat, 26 cricket helmet. You don't get anything, and they will speak about them directly in the audio one by one. Now please, let's get down to the main business. Option A, could cause excessive sweating. Underline excessive sweating. Very, very simple. Okay, any of these sporting equipment could cause excessive sweating. What is sweating? Pasina aana. For example, if they say helmet पहन के बहुत ज़्यादा पसीना आ जाता था, right? Cricket helmet पहन के बहुत ज़्यादा पसीना आ जाता, something like that. So it could cause excessive sweating. Sweat is the word. Like you say, hey, why are you sweating? Or I am sweating. Perspiration is not the right word. We use the word sweating commonly. Option B, material was being mass produced for another purpose. Material was being mass produced for another purpose, and then they started making sporting equipment with that material. For example, they talk about rubber or they talk about wood. They were producing it for another purpose, and then they realized they could make bats with that wood. Option C, people often needed to make their own. Now, one sporting item people had to make on their own, कि अपना खुद बनाना पड़ता था. Anything, table tennis bat, cricket helmet, cycle helmet, golf club, hockey stick, football. कि अपने घर से hockey stick बना के लाओ. Something like that. People had to make on their own. Option D, often had to be replaced. Replaced means it could break after 1 or 2 games, or people had to change it after every game, or in a new game they had to bring one new or anything like that. So it often had to be replaced. And by the way, what do they mean by it? It means items of sporting equipment. Okay. Next, material was expensive. Very simple. They will say it was very expensive, costly, it cost a lot of money, they had to spend a fortune, right? Anything like that. Option F, it was unpopular among spectators. Like spectators didn't like it. For example, they had a cricket bat and spectators didn't like that. So, the people who watched, spectators, they didn't like it. Option G, caused injuries. They made something and it caused injuries. For example, they say it injured the hands of the cricketer. They made certain bats which caused injury to the hand of the cricketers. So it caused means item of sporting equipment. And finally, no one using it liked it at first. At first, people didn't like it, but later on, they just liked it. Now, what are the items? Table tennis bat. Right? Now let's see what do they say. Table tennis, we've got the racket, I think. But in the old times, they used to have bats, table tennis bats. So, let's see.
So, Jian, have you thought of any ideas for the discussion session next week on technology and sport?
We have to cover more than one sport, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, we always think technology is about the future, but we could gather some ideas about past developments in sport.
Look at early types of equipment, perhaps. I remember reading something about table tennis bats once, how they ended up being covered with pimpled rubber.
'Cause they were just wooden at first, I'd imagine.
Yeah. In about the 1920s, a factory was making rolls of the rubber in bulk for something like horse harnesses.
Really?
Yeah, and someone realised that it would make a perfect covering for the wooden bats.
B. Material was being mass produced for another purpose. What was other purpose? Horses something. And mass produced they were making in large quantities. And what was the material? Rubber. So the correct answer for 25 is B. Very good. Let's go on. Question number 26, cricket helmet. You can repeat it, okay? I'll share the audio. 26, cricket helmet.
So, what about cricket? That's had a few innovative changes. Maybe the pads they wear on their legs?
I don't think they've changed much, but I'm just looking on the internet. And it says that when the first cricket helmet came in 1978, the Australian batsman who first wore it was booed and jeered by people watching because it was so ugly.
Wow! Players have to protect themselves from getting hurt.
Okay.
I mean, everyone wears one
Jeered
now.
by people who were watching. It was unpopular among spectators. For unpopular, they use the word jeered, and spectators, people who were watching. So F is the right answer for 26. I play this again. I can see question mark. I told you in section part 3 there'll be pin drop silence. Shanti. Okay? Yeah, not the Shanti who's the neighbor. Yeah.
So, what about cricket? That's had a few innovative changes. Maybe the pads they wear on their legs?
I don't think they've changed much, but I'm just looking on the internet. And it says that when the first cricket helmet came in 1978, the Australian batsman who first wore it was booed and jeered by people watching.
Okay, was booed and jeered by people. Booed is like boo, boo, like that. Okay, and jeered means mazak udana. By people who were watching. Listen again from this part.
In 1978, the Australian batsman who first wore it was booed and jeered by people watching because...
Okay, jeered by people watching. So that is option F. It was unpopular among spectators. Let's go on. Question number 27. Cycle helmet.
Unlike the cycle helmet.
Well, unless you're a professional. But you're right, many ordinary bikers don't wear a helmet.
Hey, look at these pictures of original helmet designs. This one looks like an upside-down bowl.
Yet the woman's laughing. She's so proud to be wearing it.
It says serious cyclists ended up with wet hair from all the hard exercise.
I guess that's why they have large air vents in them now. so that the skin can breathe more easily.
Okay, so we've...
Wet hair. A. It could cause excessive sweating. Now for excessive sweating, they use the word wet hair. Now you can argue पानी से भी तो बाल गीले किए जा सकते हैं, right? But then they use the word, now there are some holes in it for their skin to breathe and all that. So correct answer for 27 is A. Let's go on. Question number 28, golf club.
What about golf balls? Or better still, golf clubs. They've changed a lot.
Yeah. I remember my great-grandfather telling me that because a club was made entirely of wood, it would easily break and players had to get another.
There's no wood at all in them now, is there?
No, they're much more powerful.
Okay, golf club made of wood and they would break. Option D, it often had to be replaced. Now, what is the wording that they used for replaced? They would often break. Exactly. When something breaks, you have to replace it.
What about golf balls? Or better still, golf clubs. They've changed a lot.
Yeah. I remember my great-grandfather telling me that because a club was made entirely of wood, it would easily break and players had to get another.
Players had to get another. What is that? It often had to be replaced. Had to be replaced, players had to get another. Question number 29, hockey stick. Let's see, what do they say about hockey stick?
The same must be true of hockey sticks.
I don't think so, because players still use wooden sticks today. What it does say here, though, is that when the game started, you had to produce a stick yourself.
I guess they just weren't being manufactured.
You had to produce the stick yourself. Option C, people often needed to make their own. Okay, you had to produce the stick yourself. That is C, people often needed to make their own. So C is the right answer. Is this clear? Yes. Alright, I play this one again.
The same must be true of hockey sticks.
I don't think so, because players still use wooden sticks today. What it does say here, though, is that when the game started, you had to produce a stick yourself.
I guess they just weren't being manufactured.
Okay, you had to. For you, they use the word people. Right? Question number 30, football. Let's see, what do they say about football? And there are mostly more options than the questions, okay?
So, one more perhaps? What about football?
Well, I know the first balls were made of animal skin.
Yeah, they covered them with pieces of leather that were stitched together. But the balls let in water when it rained.
Oh, that would have made them much heavier.
That's right. You can imagine the damage to players' necks when the ball was headed.
Oh, how painful that must have been.
How
Yeah.
painful that must have been. Understand now? See, you just need to pick up some words from there. Their head and painful, so it caused injuries. Option G is the right answer. Alright. Okay, part 4, complete the notes below, write one word only. Is there any number? No, just one word only. Maple syrup. Have you seen maple on Canadian flag? There is maple leaf on Canadian flag. How many of you want to go to Canada? Good. So when you reach Canada, you will find maple tree. Pick up a leaf from the maple tree, hold it in your hand, take your selfie, and then send that to me. Okay, yeah. Will you? Good. That's a good idea. It's Maple Leaf is the cement brand. Let's not do their marketing. Anyway, other cements are better. Alright. So maple syrup. Now the syrup of that plant or whatever, we call it maple syrup. So start thinking about maple syrup and all that. What is maple syrup? Now listen, in part 4, you can get maximum correct answers. It's like part 1, but there is only one problem. In part 1, there is a dialogue. Two people are talking, conversation is easier, answers are easier. Part 4 is a lecture. There is one lecturer who is delivering a lecture. So that is why sometimes part 4 can be fast. I would not use the word fast. Part 4 can be fluent. Fluent means because there is no dialogue. When there is a dialogue, you have to listen to other person, then you answer, then you listen to other person, conversation flows. But when there is one lecture, then the conversation doesn't flow between two people, so it can be fluent. And one more thing, for part 4 you guys need to learn signpost language. First of all, for example, additionally, furthermore, secondly, lastly, these words will be used and help you. Anyways, let's start. What is maple syrup? You guys can see there are 4 points. 2 points without questions and 2 points with questions. So audio will go from left. It's going to one thing is confusing here. I think they should have used 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we don't know whether they're going to come from top to bottom or from left to right. We don't know about that, okay? This is something confusing. But anyways, in the first point, underline the word sap. In the second point, underline the word cooking. Got it? Thank you, Numan. Thank you very much. In question number 31, underline the word color. Now listen, question number 31 is color described as, and it's very, very simple. Answer is going to be a color. Color described as silver. Color described as, it's going to be a color, and color of maple syrup. And if you have seen maple syrup, you know the color of it already. What is it? Absolutely. Okay. Alright, so I play the audio and then we see whether it's going up to down and all that, left, right.
You will hear a presentation by a food
Baba.
science student about the production of maple syrup.
Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to look at another natural food product, and that's maple syrup. What is this exactly? Well, maple syrup looks rather like clear honey, but it's not made by bees. It's produced from the plant fluid, or sap, inside the maple tree, and that makes maple syrup a very natural product. Maple syrup is a thick, golden, sweet-tasting liquid that can be bought in bottles or jars.
Thick, golden, and all that. So color described as. Now thick is not the color. Golden is the color. And by the way, this is the difference between gold and golden. Gold is metal, golden is color. I play this one again.
You will hear a presentation.
In part 4, they also do one thing. For example, answer is golden. With golden, they will give you 3-4 extra words. And you will have to decide immediately that out of these 3 words, thick, golden, sweet, or something like that. Now let's see what are the extra words here.
By a food science student about the production of maple syrup.
Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to look at another natural food product, and that's maple syrup. What is this exactly? Well, maple syrup looks rather like clear honey, but it's not made by bees. It's produced from the plant fluid, or sap, inside the maple tree, and that makes maple syrup a very natural product. Maple syrup is a thick, golden, sweet-tasting liquid.
Thick, golden, sweet-tasting liquid. So color described as, now sweet and thick, they are not colors. Color is only golden. See that? There were 4 words, and out of 4 words, correct answer is golden. Let's go on. Question number 32. Very dash compared to refined sugar. Underline the word very. They are going to compare it with refined sugar. Refined sugar is that khand, chini. Alright, so that is refined sugar. So very dash compared to, for example, very expensive compared to refined sugar. Very tasty compared to refined sugar. Very something. Answer is going to be an adjective. What will be the answer? Adjective. And for very, they're going to use another word. I'll tell you because I didn't do it before, so I'm going to tell you.
It contains no preservatives or added ingredients, and it provides a healthy alternative to refined sugar.
It provides a healthy alternative to refined sugar. Very healthy compared to refined sugar. Healthy alternative to refined sugar. Answer is Healthy, that's right. Okay, now you guys can see we have maple tree and there is lot of information and how many questions? One. In these type of situations, you are highly likely to miss the answer if you don't track the audio. Because after 32, you will come to 33. And in between, there'll be audio going on and on and on and on. And when you listen to the audio and you're not writing, your mind is likely to go to sleep. And then the answer will come. When answer goes, then you will have this jolt. And by that time, you'll miss the answer. What's the solution? Very, very simple. Please come over here. First, you need to just underline some words. Second bullet point, underline cool nights. Found it? Third bullet point, underline 1964. On the right side, there is the bullet point moist soil. Underline moist soil. Got it? Now, let's see. Now we read question 33. We will read carefully. Other notes, we will only skim and underline the word. Don't read everything because they will give you 1 minute. In the beginning of part 4, they will give you 1 minute to read questions 31 to 40. Okay, so let's see. What is question number 33? Best growing conditions and dash are in Canada. Two things. Number one, growing condition. Second, now best growing conditions and dash. Now they will say another word that will come with growing conditions. And by the way, they will not use the word growing conditions directly. They might say the weather is quite agreeable for this, or the weather conditions are quite suitable to grow this plant. So best growing conditions, number one, and for and, sometimes they use the word also. Sometimes they use the word additionally. Sometimes they use the word but also, right? So let's see what do they use. Anyways, best growing conditions, that is your first thing.
Let's just talk a bit about the maple tree itself, which is where maple syrup comes from. So, there are many species of maple tree, and they'll grow without fertilizer in areas where there's plenty of moisture in the soil. However, they'll only do this if another important criterion is fulfilled, which is that they must have full or partial sun exposure during the day and very cool nights. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. There are only certain parts of the world that provide all these conditions. One is Canada, and by that I mean all parts of Canada. And the other is the northeastern states of North America. In these areas, the climate suits the trees perfectly. In fact, Canada produces over 2/3 of the world's maple syrup, which is why the 5-pointed maple leaf is a Canadian symbol and has featured on the flag since 1964.
All right. You know, the most confusing thing is these bullet points are not in order. This is very, very confusing thing. And this is the latest book. They're trying to make it more complicated. They discuss this last option, 1964, in the end. And you see 3 options here, 2 options there. So they are going like 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then the last one, 5. Anyways, the correct answer, what is that? Yes, absolutely. Now see, this audio went on for around a minute. Now I'm going to play it again and I'll tell you which option is spoken of and where is that.
Let's just talk a bit about the maple tree itself, which is where maple syrup comes from. So, there are many species of maple tree.
Okay, that is first bullet point. There are many species of maple syrup, maple tree.
And they'll grow without fertilizer in areas where there's plenty of moisture in the soil.
Moisture in the soil, second one. One is on left, one is on right. That is second one, okay? Now they come to third, cool night, sunny days.
However, they'll only do this if another important criterion is fulfilled, which is that they must have full or partial sun exposure during the day and very cool nights.
Okay? Cold nights and all that. That is the second one from left. Now, after this.
And I'll talk more about that in a minute. There are only certain parts of the world that provide all these conditions.
There are only certain parts of the world which provide all these conditions. What are these conditions? Best growing conditions.
One is Canada. And by that,
I mean all parts of Canada. And the other is the northeastern states of North America.
Okay, so northeastern states of North America, Canada and North America. Now listen carefully this thing.
In these areas, the climate suits the trees perfectly.
In these areas, the climate suits the trees perfectly. These areas, Canada and North America. And climate suits the tree perfectly. So answer is climate. Right. Okay, but this is confusing because of the order. I think they should have written A, B, C, D or 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that. Now we go on to question number 34. Early maple sugar producers. Producers means who produce them. Early maple sugar producers made holes in the tree trunks. Underline holes or tree trunks. Second, used hot dash. Very, very simple. Hot something. Hot water, hot something to heat the sap. Sap is that comes out of the tree. Okay, so they used something hot, and for hot they can use the word warm or any other word. Whatever they say after hot or after the paraphrasing of hot, that will be your answer. And then they use the word bark, and then they use the word sweetened food. Okay, now I don't know what's going to be the order. Let's check. Question 34.
So, how did maple syrup production begin? Well, long before Europeans settled in these parts of the world, the indigenous communities had started producing maple sugar. They bored holes in the trunks of maple trees and used containers made of tree bark to collect the liquid sap as it poured out. As they were unable to keep the liquid for any length of time, they didn't have storage facilities in those days. They boiled the liquid by placing pieces of rock that had become scorching hot from the sun into the sap. They did this until it turned into sugar.
Okay, used hot. Alright, don't worry. Some were saying containers is the right answer. Container to point hai. Okay, listen now. The first thing, let me make it clear. The bullet points are going from left to right. Okay, so I'm playing the last part where there is the answer.
As they were unable to keep the liquid for any length of time, and used containers made of tree.
That containers is the second point, second bullet point on the right. Now come to third one. Used hot dash to heat the sap.
Bark to collect the liquid sap as it poured out. As they were unable to keep the liquid for any length of time, they didn't have storage facilities in those days. They boiled the liquid by placing pieces of rock.
They boiled the liquid by placing pieces of rock. Now listen next. By placing pieces of rock.
Liquid for any length of time. They didn't have storage facilities in those days. They boiled the liquid by placing pieces of rock that had become scorching hot from.
That are become scorching hot. That means rocks. Again the same thing as we started. That are become. So that are become means the rocks become scorching hot. Huh? क्या कह रहे? Alright, छोड़ दें इसको. Yeah. Okay, no, it's not that. Yeah. I'll play this thing once again.
Were unable to keep the liquid for any length of time. They didn't have storage facilities in those days. They boiled the liquid by.
They boiled the liquid. Now what's the challenge? How did they boil the liquid? Listen.
By placing pieces of rock.
By placing pieces of rocks.
That had become scorching hot.
That had become scorching hot. What have become scorching hot? Pieces of rock. Now you cannot write three words pieces of rock. Answer is rock. Yeah. Okay. This use the word pieces. When we use pieces, then we use singular after it. Pieces of rock. Yeah. Huh? Okay, listen. Now listen. Now, I tell you. Both answers are correct. Why? Because if you write used hot rock to heat the sap, grammatically we are not violating any rule. If we write used hot rocks to heat the sap, even then we are not violating any grammar rule. So in this case, answer can be rocks singular or it can be rocks plural, one thing. Second, when you go towards the answer key, in the answer key they have written rock and in bracket they have written S. That means that S is optional. Whether you write it or you don't write it, still your answer is correct. Whenever they give you anything in brackets, that is optional. You write it, good. If you don't write it, no problem. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, guys. Today's maple syrup. The trees. Tree trunks may have the correct dash until they have been growing for 40 years. Now listen. Maple tree needs 40 years to give the fruit, to give that maple syrup. So they say tree trunks because this sap comes from the trunk of the tree. Okay, the tree trunks not have the correct. Not have the correct means before 40 years the trees don't have correct something. And by the way, for correct they might use the word right. Okay, the trees don't have the right dash or any other word for correct. And then you will find the answer. Until they have been growing for 40 years. Means when the tree is not 40 years old, it doesn't have correct something. That is why before 40 years you cannot get the sap and the maple syrup from the tree. Now let's see what is it.
So, let's look at the production of maple syrup today. Clearly, the maple forests are a valuable resource in many Canadian and North American communities. The trees have to be well looked after, and they cannot be used to make syrup until the trunks reach a diameter of around 25 centimeters. This can take anything up to 40 years.
Diameter, that's right, until the tree reaches the diameter of 25. So correct diameter, and what is the word for correct? 25. The diameter of 25 means the correct diameter. Do you understand? Like for example, the length of 5 feet. So the correct length. Okay. Weight of 20 kgs. Correct weight. Okay. Please listen again.
So, let's look at the production of maple syrup today. Clearly, the maple forests are a valuable resource in many Canadian and North American communities. The trees have to be well looked after, and they cannot be used to make syrup until the trunks reach a diameter of around 25 centimeters.
Until the trunks reach a diameter of 25 centimeters. So the diameter of 25 centimeters is correct diameter. So for correct, they use the word diameter 25, what is that? Centimeters. Okay, let's go on. Question number 36, the production. A tap is drilled into the trunk and a dash carries the sap. Now something that carries the sap from the tree, that will be your answer. What do they do? A tap is drilled. They drill a tap inside like tutti. They drill a tap inside the trunk of this maple tree and dash carries the sap into a bucket. Into a bucket, sap comes through something. Now what is that something? That is your answer. Okay. I understand these concepts are difficult and all that, but once you practice in part 4, you will always get like this. Those who are going to do academic IELTS, you are likely to study such type of subjects when you go to those foreign countries. Right? I'll tell you something interesting after this. Okay. Just remind me. I write it here. Okay, not you. So, let's see. Question number 36. How sap comes out of diameter and it goes into the bucket. Yeah, that balti.
When the tree is ready, it can be tapped, and this involves drilling a small hole into the trunk and inserting a tube into it that ends in a bucket.
Okay, inserting a tube that ends in a bucket, and that tube is more like a pipe. Okay, tube ends inside the bucket. So answer is tube, U-tube. Okay, only tube, T-U-B-E, that's right. Let's go on. Question number 37. Large pans of sap called evaporators. What do we call large pans of sap? Evaporators are heated by means of dash. Again, how do they heat them? by means of coal, by means of gas. So it's going to be something we use. And how do they heat them, right? They may heat them with water, they may heat them with something else. Let's see. How are they heated?
The trees can often take several taps, though the workers take care not to cause any damage to the healthy growth of the tree itself. The sap that comes out of the trees consists of 98% water and 2% sugar and other nutrients. It has to be boiled so that much of that water evaporates, and this process has to take place immediately using what are called evaporators. These are basically extremely large pans. The sap is poured into these. A fire is built, and the pans are then heated until...
Okay, a fire is built and the pans are then heated. They are heated by fire. Exactly. How can you write evaporator as an answer when it is already written there? A word which is written in the sentence can never be the answer. So correct answer is fire. I play this one again. Just imagine what this
The
means.
trees can often take several taps, though the workers take care not to cause any damage to the healthy growth of the tree itself. The sap that comes out of the trees consists of 98% water and 2% sugar and other nutrients. It has to be boiled so that much of that water evaporates, and this process has to take place immediately using what are called evaporators. These are basically extremely large pans. The sap is poured into these. A fire is built, and the pans are then heated until the sap boils.
Okay, fire is built, so they are heated by means of fire. Let's go on. Question number 38. A lot of dash is produced during the evaporation process. Tell me the answer. When you are boiling something, what is it producing? Excellent. Huh? Steam. Absolutely. When you are boiling something that contains 98% water and 2% sugar or anything like that, so that is going to be steam. And how do you spell steam? Okay, so see, if you are into the audio, you can guess the answers as well. And by the way, 38, 39, 40, they are going to decide band 8, 8.5 and 9. Okay, yeah. With one wrong answer, still you can get 9. 39 correct answers, you can get 9. Anyways.
As it does this, the water evaporates and the syrup begins to form. The evaporation process creates large quantities of steam, and the sap becomes thicker and denser, and at just
large quantities of steam, and they've written a lot of and large quantities of. Answer is steam. Good. Question number 39. Sugar sand is removed because it makes, what do they mean by it? Sugar sand. Sugar sand is removed because it makes the syrup look. Now sugar sand changes the look of the syrup. With the sugar sand, how does syrup look like? That will be your answer. The look of the syrup with sugar sand. It is not the color. It's something different. Let's see. Affects the taste. So,
after this process, something called sugar sand has to be filtered out, as this builds up during the boiling and gives the syrup a cloudy appearance and a slightly gritty
gives
taste.
the syrup a cloudy appearance. Underline the word look and write their appearance. For look, they mostly use the word appearance. No, we will not write cloudy appearance. For appearance, they have written the word look. We will write cloudy. Look cloudy, cloudy appearance. Look clumsy, clumsy appearance. Actually, it's like that. Question number 40. A huge quantity of sap is needed to make a dash of maple syrup. Now listen, huge quantity of sap is needed to make a dash of maple syrup. Now let's see, it can be to make a jar of maple syrup, to make something. Let's see, large quantity, because 98% water and only 2%, so they need large quantities. And then, for example, if 100 kg, they will get only 2 kg from there, right? So let's see. Come on.
Once this has been done, the syrup is ready to be packaged so that it can be used for a whole variety of products. It takes 40 liters of sap to produce 1 liter of maple syrup, so you can get an idea of how much is needed.
Have you noticed one thing? For huge quantity, they use the word 40 liters of sap is needed to make 1 liter of maple syrup. So huge quantity, what is the word for that? 40 liters of sap is needed to make a. Now listen, a and 1, they are synonyms. So the answer is liter. And how do you spell liter? L-I-T-R-E, and one is L-I-T-E-R. One is British, one is American, both are fine. L-I-T-R-E, L-I-T-E-R. Please listen to it.
Once this has been done, the syrup is ready to be packaged so that it can be used for a whole variety of products. It takes 40 liters of sap to produce 1 liter of maple syrup.
Okay, all good. Thank you.